I am a doctor. You can probably tell I'm a doctor because I wear this white coat and stethoscope. Of course, just because I have a white coat and stethoscope doesn't prove I'm a doctor. I could just be some bloke off the telly selling mouthwash. But not only am I a doctor, I am the top kind of doctor, a brain surgeon. The brain is the most complicated thing in the universe. If a person comes into casualty and says, "Oh, I've broken my leg," well, it's pretty obvious what you do. But if a person comes into casualty and says, "I've forgotten who I am," life gets more complicated. Sometimes there's no outward sign of injury to the brain at all. In fact, just by looking at the brain, it's impossible to tell if a patient is dead or alive. And a doctor who can't tell if his patient is alive or dead is a doctor with a short career.
You know what it's like, don't you? You're sitting on a bus and, oh God, you hear the nutter coming up the stairs. Or you pray he doesn't come and sit next to you and start rambling. What to do? If you talk to him, you know the next time he comes up those stairs, he'll sit next to you again. And again, so you have to change jobs, or bike to work, or join the Foreign Legion just to get away from him. But on the 13th of March 2015, something happened to me. And I changed my mind about the nut on the bus. I was unloading barrels into a pub cellar when I slipped, fell, and in an epic battle between my head and the concrete floor, the concrete floor won. I was like Alice, fallen into a rabbit hole. And when I came round, I wasn't in Wonderland exactly, but I was in a strange, new world. Unfortunately, unlike Alice, I never got to find my way back. I was stuck in Wonderland forever.
Can you please hurry up? Harry, can you turn that bloody Xbox off, please? We've told you about playing that before school. And you need your games kit. Come on, you're 9 years old. It's time you learn how to put things in a bag. It's not that hard. And Jenna, come away from the mirror. You don't need all that makeup. You're not joining the circus. Just grab your stuff and get down here pronto. Can you do a bit here, Rick, please? Hello, anybody there? Oh, where is that? I'm leaving in 5 minutes. If you're not down here, I'm going without you. Honestly, those bloody kids. You're not much better. You're just sitting there. What's the matter with everyone this morning? Right. Oh, I'm going. Keys. Fags. Purse. Keys. Keys. Have you seen my keys? Rick, have you seen my keys? Rick? Rick? Oh God, it's 2:45. You should have been gone by now. Rick?
I don't understand.
Understand what?
I don't know who you are.
Oh, for God's sake.
I don't understand.
Yep, we got that. You don't understand. Nobody does. It's 2024. The whole world's gone mad. No one understands anything. Are you ill or something?
I don't know who I am.
What?
I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. I don't know where I am.
What are you talking about? Jenna?
You said my name was Rick.
Well, unless you've changed it overnight.
I'm Rick. Right. And you're...
Is this some sort of game? I'm Lauren, you know, your wife.
Something happened. I got up. I got dressed. I came downstairs. But I went to the toilet by mistake. I couldn't find my way from the kitchen to the living room. It's like I've woken up in a house I've never seen before. In a family I've never met. Those children you're shouting at. Harry, is it?
And Jenna?
And Jenna, right. I don't remember them. You came downstairs and you came in here and I tried. But I have never seen you before.
Are you serious?
Yes.
We had an argument last night. Do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember what you do, for a living?
No idea.
Wow. You're a fireman, by the way. This is a bloody turn-up, isn't it? What do we do now? Rick.
If you say so.
You really don't know me, do you?
Maybe we should go to the hospital.
But you're not ill, though, are you?
I feel all right. Bit scared, I guess. My head aches a bit.
Okay. Right. This is what we'll do. We'll drop the kids off, then we'll go to the surgery, and I don't know, maybe it'll all come back to you and we can go to work and everything will be normal. Don't say anything to the kids. Don't want to freak them out completely. Just pretend you do actually know them.
Suppose they realise.
These are our kids, Rick. You could turn into a werewolf and they wouldn't notice.
Harry and
Jenna. It's okay, I'll say you've got a headache. You go and get in the car and I'll bring them down.
Okay. Front door.
It's that way. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Worrying, isn't it?
Worrying? Are you kidding? It's a complete and total bloody disaster. Harry!
Suddenly, your life becomes all about before and after. Before, what was your life like? Happy? Fulfilled? Able? Everything good? Everything fun? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, probably not. But you probably have friends, family, a job, nights out, and nights in. You don't think about what is there. Take it for granted. But when it gets snatched away from you, that's when it clicks. It's like the big yellow taxi. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. It's all after now. There's no before. It's a life through a looking glass. And you can't come back through the looking glass. And there's nothing on the other side of the mirror. It's just cobwebs and dust.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes?
Could you tell me where the toilet is?
Just down there on the left.
It's just down there.
On the left.
Thank you. What's your name?
Ryan.
I'm just going to the toilet, Ryan.
Fine. Anyway, what was I saying? No, really, what was I saying?
Cobwebs and dust.
Really? Cobwebs and dust? No, no idea what it was on about. That's the thing you see with me. I have no past, it's all just present. So you have to forgive me if I repeat myself. It's like the man who goes to the doctor and the doctor goes, "You've got cancer, but you've also got Alzheimer's." And the man goes, "Well, at least I haven't got cancer." It's down the corridor on the left.
Hey?
The toilet.
I don't want the toilet. I want to tell them what happened.
All right, fine. Sorry. Carry on.
I didn't used to be such a nice person.
All right.
At some point, my life took a wrong turn. Even when I was working, I drank too much, got into fights too much, always in trouble, in prison a couple of times. My life started to go downhill. And by the time I realised it, it was already moving too fast for me to stop. My family and my friends abandoned me, even my mum. Well, I thought I didn't need anyone. I thought I only needed one friend, Johnny Walker.
That's the dream.
Pretty soon I was homeless. I palled up with someone just like me, except further down the road to hell. We were living, if you could call it that, in an abandoned bungalow. No electricity, no water, nothing. Nicking food when we could. I have no recollection of what happened next, but I've pieced it together over the years. My so-called friend attacked me with an iron bar, beat me senseless, left me lying in a pool of my own blood. Probably nicked one too many of his roll-ups. I should have died. It was midwinter, freezing. When they found me hours, maybe days later, I was frozen to the floor. I think maybe a couple of my fingers might still be there. I should have been long dead. But that's when I realised that I was no longer on my own. Jesus was with me. I couldn't hold a glass. So that's his way of saying, wake up now, Michael. I think you've had enough to drink. It's time to come home now.
You think it was Jesus that saved you?
No one else was bothered. I was 8 months in the hospital. Luxury, you might say, compared to where I've been before. I gave up drinking. I went back to my family, despite everything I put them through. They welcomed me back. I was like the prodigal son. My granddaughter was born 6 months ago, on my birthday. Most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I don't deserve to be this happy. You know, I thought I'd given up on God, but luckily, God hadn't given up on me.
Well, the Lord moves in mysterious ways, but hitting you over the head with an iron bar seems a bit extreme.
He hit me just hard enough to knock some sense into me, without knocking my brains out altogether. He's always been a good shot.
So life's good now.
More than I deserve. Yep. Much more than I deserve.
You never know when it's going to happen. And sometimes you don't even notice when it does. Nor does anyone else. Well, take Mary, for example. Mary was driving to work at 8 on a Monday morning. Will you step out the car, please?
Why? I wasn't speeding. I need to get to work.
You're holding up the traffic, miss. I need to get the car now.
I haven't done any.
Right. We'll take these, shall we, madam? Because you're not going anywhere. Come on. Having trouble standing, are we, madam? Whiskey or two for breakfast, was it?
I haven't had a drink since... What day is it?
I'm going to ask you to blow into this device, miss. Take a deep breath, please.
But I haven't had a drink.
You're unstable on your feet. You're slurring your words. Or I have reason to believe you've been drinking alcohol. If you do not belong to this device, I will have to arrest you for refusing to take an alcohol breath test.
It's 8:30 in the morning. All I've had is Tetley's.
Yeah,
Tea. Tetley's tea.
heard it all before. Now, if you wouldn't mind. Deep breath. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. Thank you. Well, it seems to be your lucky day. This time.
Can I go? I'm going to be late.
Late for what?
Work.
You need to wake yourself a bit first, madam. Pay attention to the road.
Can I have my... Please.
Here we are. Is there a problem?
I don't know where they go.
The ignition.
Where's the ignition?
All right, sunshine. Let's have you out. Come on. I've cause to suspect you attempted to drive a vehicle having consumed alcohol or illegal drugs, and therefore placing you under arrest.
I need to go to the hospital.
We're going to the station.
No, I really need to go to the hospital.
As I said, we're going to the station. All right. Hospital it is then. And so, that's when they took Mary to the hospital and did all their tests on her, and they told her.
What we have here is an aneurysm.
And I didn't know what that meant.
An artery in your head just exploded.
Once they realised I wasn't pissed, the police soon lost interest. I overheard one of them saying,
What was that all about then?
and then the other one said,
Having the fucking faintest. I thought we were meant to be catching criminals, not being bleeding social workers.
and I thought, I wish it was drink driving. At least then I'd know I was going to wake up tomorrow. Now there's all this blood washing around my brain and it's about to wash my life away. Life-changing's what they call it. Doesn't sound too bad. Just wait until it happens to you.
There are thousands of miles of veins in your head, and sometimes one of these veins can get a bit blocked, and the pressure that builds up creates this balloon filled with blood, and that's called an aneurysm. If you're lucky, you won't even know. It'll just sit in your head through your whole life like an unexploded bomb. But at any second, it can burst.
It's like that sunken ship in the Thames with all that unexploded ammunition. Well, nobody dared touch it, because if it went off, they got half a South End with it. Not such a bad thing, I hear you say. But one of you sitting out there right now could have an unexploded bomb in your head. I mean, really, think about it. It's absolutely bananas. It's crazy.
Excuse me?
Yes,
Excuse me, can you tell me where the toilet is?
it's down there on the left.
What was your name?
As I said, it's Ryan.
Can I shake your hand?
Yeah.
I died 3 times, you know.
Really?
Down there on the left.
Yeah. You don't have to keep walking across the stage, you know. Just go to the bar.
Down there on the left.
Yes.
Your brain is like a little boat floating upon a serene sea. It can't hear or see or taste anything. All it knows is millions of tiny electrical pulses shooting along the nerves. And from those pulses, it builds an image of the world. Now, your brain is the most complicated thing in the universe, but it's also vulnerable. If a blood vessel breaks or the skull gets a knock, then that serene sea can become a maelstrom. Your brain crashes from one side of your skull to the other. Tiny veins can sever. Bits of brain can lose their blood flow. And when it's all over, Your poor brain, battered and broken, tries to make sense of what's left.
It's like the Starship Enterprise, after attack by the Klingons. What's the damage report, Scotty? I don't know how much longer I can hold it together, Captain. Oh.
Hello. I've brought chocolates and things.
Oh, do I like chocolate?
You ate all the others.
Did I? Sorry. Do we actually know each other?
I'm your sister, Heather.
Really?
I was here yesterday.
Oh.
I've been here most days since.
Right.
You don't remember.
I can't seem to keep anything in my head at the moment.
But you know where you are.
Of course. Hospital.
And you know why.
Car accident.
Bike accident.
Was it? Oh, I should have had a helmet on.
You did.
Yeah, I can feel the gash in my head. I can't remember how I got it.
It's not getting any better then.
What?
Your memory.
Oh, no. Nope. No good. Gone again. Oh, so you're my sister. Right. Any other relatives? I feel like I might be married. Am I married?
To Sarah.
Oh, right. Children?
Hannah and Betsy. Look, I'll show you.
Oh, that's a lovely looking family. Do I know them?
It's your family. Look, there's Hannah, Betsy, Sarah, and that one is you.
Really?
Really?
And will we look happy?
Yeah. You're just smiling for the camera.
Have I seen them? You know, here.
They came for the first couple of weeks, but not for a while.
Oh, they've forgotten me.
It's been a long time.
Even so.
The family in that picture broke up a long time before your accident. You probably won't see them again, not smiling like that anyway.
What happened?
You and Sarah were basically on the point of divorce. Just a case of signing the papers.
Well, even so, you think they'd still care a bit about me?
You know, the way you were, I don't really think you're in a position to criticize.
Why not?
Because it was you who did the leaving. Before. You had a girlfriend. You were going to leave Sarah and the girls and go and live with that Donna woman.
What, so I was, what, a bit of a bastard?
Just selfish. You know? Like all men. Couldn't bear the thought that his wife has got a few lines on her face. I missed my chance. I wouldn't have thrown it away like you did.
Well, what about this, Donna?
No lines on her face. Pretty. Busty, that's all I know, really.
Has she been in?
Not that I know of.
What's she like?
Don't know much about her. Only met her once, looking for a meal ticket, probably. I didn't like her, but then Sarah and I, we've always been close. Look. That's you with me and Mum and Dad.
They haven't been in?
Mum's in her home. She barely remembers who I am, and she definitely doesn't know who you are.
Dad?
No. He's not been in, but then he has been dead for 3 years, so that's probably why.
It's a bit harsh.
Is it? Sorry. I tend to speak my mind these days. I lost Dad, and then Mum, and you.
But you haven't lost me.
Haven't I? They said your memory would come back. But you have to give it time. So, I've cleared out the boxes in the spare room so you can come and stay. Anyway, things to do.
Will I see you tomorrow?
I'll try.
Look, thanks. Keep coming. It's nice to know I've got someone out there who cares a bit about me at least. A sister. That's something, isn't it?
It is. But you know, it's sad, Mark, that it takes something like this to make you say something nice like that. You let a lot of people down. That's why I'm the only one who ever comes.
Don't be too hard on him.
He's not your brother. I've spent my life clearing up after his disasters. Some people need a bang on the head. Knock some bloody sense into them.
Having a brain injury. It's like your life was this giant jigsaw puzzle. And all the pieces get thrown in the air. But when you come back to put together, well, you find there's lots of pieces missing. And you don't know if you'll find all the missing pieces. So you have to start from scratch, learning how to walk and talk. And it is not what you might call easy.
Right. Ready to do a bit of walking, are we? Let's go.
What's the point?
Oh, hello. What's this? Why, it's a little ray of sunshine lighting up all our lives. I think you know what the point is, Paula. It's called getting better.
I'm not getting anywhere.
Well, it's only been a month.
I can barely even stand up.
You couldn't walk at all a month ago.
I'm a miserable git, aren't I? I don't know why you bother with me.
They pay me? Now, what are you going to do?
Let's just skip it today, eh?
Really? Yeah, okay. Let's not bother. Yeah, it's just heaps hassle, isn't it? We'll just give up, shall we? Don't you worry, Paula. You just spend the rest of your life stuck in a wheelchair. What does it matter? Who cares? I don't.
Tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
No, Paula. That is not going to happen. You and we are going to do this now or die trying. Well, that's you who's going to die, obviously, by the way, not me.
I may as well have died.
Paula, look at me. I told you this was not going to be easy. I told you every step was going to hurt. Now you just think about those twats climbing up Everest. They have it easy. You know why? Because they can get halfway up and say, well, fuck this for a game of soldiers. I'm calling the next helicopter home. But you don't have that choice, Paula. There's no helicopters waiting outside those windows to come and take you home. The only way out of here is on those bloody useless things. Now, we've got a long way to go and we haven't even reached base camp yet.
What's base camp?
Paula, has anyone ever told you you are a complete and total pain in the ass?
My husband, my kids, pretty much everyone, really.
We are going to get you walking, Paula. Do you believe me?
I suppose.
You suppose. You suppose. See, that's exactly what I was waiting to hear. Unbridled enthusiasm, a can-do attitude, never say die. You suppose?
No, taking the piss.
Exactly. Now, I want you to stick 2 fingers up to that miserable cow out on reception and stride confidently out of those front doors. Are you ready?
Yeah, not sure I can manage that.
No? Really? Well, that is a bugger, isn't it? So why don't we start with a couple of steps?
You always say that. Then you make me walk halfway across the room.
Oh my God, this woman! Oh, she's seen right through my cunning plan. I can't get anything past her. Now, sweetheart, let's stop pissing about. Get your ass over here and let's get started.
Brain surgeons, like what I am, have to be very, very skilled. Snip a centimetre too far in the wrong direction, and before you know it, you're breaking bad news to sobbing parents in a corridor. Which is why I tip my hat to the greatest brain doctor in the universe. We are talking Dr. Brain. Now, the second you injure your brain, Dr. Brain sets to work checking the circuits, seeing which bits are working and which bits aren't, seeing if this bit that's okay can be used to cover that bit that's burnt out. Oh, of course, you can't just sit back and let Dr. Brain do all the work. You might have to relearn how to walk, to talk, or to think. But Dr. Brain keeps on working for weeks, months, years, until, eventually, it puts away the spanners and says, "That's it. That's your lot, mate. It's up to you now." You may never relearn how to walk again, or to speak. You might just have to accept that wheelchair, that's part of who you are. Forever. Oh my God, did not expect to see you after last night.
Oh my God, last night, weird or what?
So embarrassing.
So you never guess what?
What?
Only Liam.
Fuck off.
Right. So I was like, so what happened to you last night? And he's like, I had to go to my nan's. And I'm like, what? So is your phone out of order or something? And then he's like, my mum's literally having a go at me. And then I totally forgot all about it. And then he only tries to kiss me.
That is disgusting.
My name's Steve. I used to be a person back in the day. Now I'm not so sure.
I know. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? People are going to think I'm like literally a prosy or something, standing around with literally nothing to do. It was so embarrassing.
In case you haven't noticed, one of my superpowers is invisibility.
I know. And then he's like, so am I seeing you again? And I'm like, what? You mean wait around for another like 10 hours? And he's like, oh, I won't do it again, honest. And I'm like, you are so out of order. I'm not even joking.
You 100% won't get this.
What?
I sometimes wonder if I actually exist. Is it possible to disappear completely and not realise?
So I was literally coming out my front door the other day and you'll never guess what?
What?
Only Noah.
No.
Yeah, that was Noah. He was only standing at my front gate waiting for me to come out. It was so out of order.
Are they actually speaking English?
What's he talking about?
Oh, I don't know. He rambles on and on.
When they say he, they mean me. Generally, I'm sort of a he or him. Never Steve. Certainly not Stephen.
So do you like have to push him around all day?
Only in the week.
Who looks after him at night?
His mum, sometimes. But then he's got one of them big red buttons and he pushes it if he gets stuck in the bog or something.
I could totally do with one of them when I'm down sugar.
Yeah, but it's lonely. Just me and my red button and the telly. And Mum sometimes.
So, are we going down the horse on Friday?
Only if Noah is not there.
Or Liam?
The pub. The pub! Oh, trip to the pub. I haven't been to the pub in ages. We could get legless. Look, Halfway there already.
I'm 100% not going if Noah is there.
Totally not happening.
Might meet a woman. Could get a sympathy shag, maybe. Well, I could probably still do it. Not that I know. I have been practicing a lot recently. They don't cover that in rehab.
Gotta go, gotta work.
Yep. Bye.
It's not work though, is it, though? Pushing him around all day.
Him! It's me, by the way, if you've not been paying attention.
Excuse me. There is such a thing as hills, you know?
See you Friday.
Yeah, bye.
Best friend?
Nah, he's a bit of a dick, really. Do you want to do something? We could get chips.
It's a bit early for chips. I don't want you to highlight on my day too quick. I need something to look forward to.
You know, there are people worse off than you, and I bet they ain't moaning all the time.
Oh, is that what I'm doing? Moaning. Sorry, I just sometimes wish I actually had someone who liked pushing me around all day. But you're a nice person, Chloe. You can't help being young. It's just, I used to be a solicitor. People used to be interested in what I had to say. I was respected. Now I'm just a silly old man in a wheelchair wearing a stupid bobble hat.
You know, you don't have to wear a stupid bobble hat.
I do.
Why?
Mum insists. Says I'll get a cold head and die. There.
I'll pick that up, shall I?
Yeah, better. You know what she's like. You're right, though.
Are you feeling all right?
Yeah? Why?
You just said I was right about something.
No, what I mean is you're right. It's not too early for chips. It's never too early for chips. At least we both love chips.
Well, you're paying because I'm skint.
Chloe, I wonder, have you ever heard of the expression, my turn?
No. Have you ever heard the expression silly old fucker?
Many times. Many times. Praise the Lord! It's a miracle. I can walk again. Mostly. You should try it sometime. Not walking. Being in a wheelchair, I mean. It's a bit like being underwater. You can see stuff going on above, but it's all wobbly and distorted. And you can't really communicate with people living up there. They're like big, unfriendly jelly giants, just staring down at you.
We were childhood sweethearts, Neil and me. Isn't that lovely? And living together. 2 girls, beautiful house. Only problem was, I was useless. Useless wife, useless mother, useless person, really.
You don't seem useless at all.
And then one day, I got up and I looked out of the window and I realised my problem wasn't that I was useless. My problem was that I had been living with a controlling, paranoid lunatic called Neil. And he had been telling me since I was 16 that I wasn't sweet, I wasn't pretty, and I barely qualified as a human being. Oh, and by the way, I was lucky to have him.
So what did you do?
I packed my bags. That didn't take long. And I took my girls, and I got as far away from Neil as I possibly could. And I started a new, wonderful life as a poverty-stricken single mum. A single mum on benefits. Sorry about that, Daily Mail. We're to blame for everything, aren't we, us single mums? But I loved it. Being on my own. No one telling me I was doing everything wrong. At least, I loved it until I woke up 2 weeks later in a high dependency unit. I'd had a stroke. I found out, though, that my lovely friend Becca and my mum had been taking care of my 2 girls. In the hospital, they told my mum that I'd be a vegetable for the rest of my life. Well, let me tell you, this cabbage is doing pretty well, considering. I was 6 months in recovery and rehab. But Becca and my 2 girls, they come to see me every day. We even had Christmas for an hour one day, eating turkey, pulling crackers and sitting on the bed. Oh, it's the best Christmas ever, wasn't it?
Made the best out of a bad job then.
What choice did I have? God deals out the cards and you've got to play them. A couple of 2s he gave me. So when I come out of hospital, I wasn't just a poverty-stricken single mum. Now, I was a disabled single mum. Oh, and now with epilepsy. Nice touch that, God. You and Neil make a right pair. But none of that mattered, because we were happy. We set up a bed downstairs and poor little 6-year-old Katie became my carer. She had to do everything for me. Help me to wash and dress and run errands, do everything around the house. She'd have been paid if she weren't 6 years old. I think in Bangladesh they'd call it child labour.
She's grown up now.
She's 13. She's had to grow up. No choice. My life isn't exactly what you call easy. And probably never will be, but me and my girls and Becca, we're getting through it, aren't we? I wouldn't swap my life with anyone. Well, maybe a rich mum living in a massive house with 2 paddocks with 2 horses for my girls. But for now, you'll have to make do with a manky old cage and a couple of gerbils.
Oh, nothing wrong with gerbils.
They smell.
You do seem to have a lot of bad luck.
No. Got my girls. As long as I've got my girls, I've got all the luck I need.
If you don't have a head injury, you go through life like you're driving in a Bentley. But if you do have a head injury, well, it's something like you're driving a Reliant Robin. And it's not until you're driving a Reliant Robin that you realise how nice it was in the Bentley. Hi, Joe! 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 You can't hear me, you got your headphones on.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I've got my headphones on.
Why do you wear those headphones all the time?
Excuse me?
Yes,
Excuse me, can you tell me where the toilet is?
this is the 3rd. You must know the way by now.
What's your name?
As I keep saying, it's Ryan.
I died 3 times, you know.
No chance of a 4th, I suppose.
I met Jesus.
Really? Oh, how is he these days?
Good. He told me it wasn't my time yet, but he's saving a place for me.
It's down there on the left.
Heaven?
The toilet.
Thank you.
Why do you wear those headphones all the time?
I can't bear the noise. There's no escaping it these days.
Not listening to music then?
That would be worse.
You in pain?
Only all the time.
Bad pain?
There's good pain.
Oh, I mean like, hard to bear pain.
Yeah. Yes, bad pain. Pretty bad.
Painkillers?
Don't work.
Pain management?
Oh, pain management will be wonderful. Maybe he can take all the pain for me. Maybe on a Tuesday.
So, what do you do?
I put up with it. And I wear these ear defenders. They're noise cancelling. Do you want to try?
Nah, I'm all right, thanks. I like to hear the applause.
You're an optimist.
Yeah, true.
When I wake up in the morning, just for a few seconds, there's no pain. It's wonderful. It's like the pain is still asleep. But then it wakes up and says, oh, I've overslept. Must take out my jackhammer and start drilling holes in Joe's head.
As bad as that?
Worse. But there is one thing that helps.
What's that?
My camera.
Your camera takes the pain away.
No. No, nothing takes the pain away. But when I'm looking through the viewfinder at all these wonderful images I'm going to capture, figuring out the best angle, then it's like the pain is still there. But I'm not. If you see what I mean.
Not really, no.
No. No. Guess you kind of have to be there.
Hopefully not.
No. No, for your sake. Hopefully not. Bye.
Imaginaba que un día de repente no podrías entender nada de lo que dice la gente. O imaginaba que estabas en un país giro donde no habla inglés. Y piensas por qué. Este tiene ese acento. Sabes que está enfadado pero no entiendes por qué. Sabes que está enfadado pero no entiendes por qué. Strange, isn't it? When you suddenly can't understand what someone is saying to you. Head injuries can do all sorts of funny things to your language. Take June. All of her nouns disappeared into the ether, except one.
Morning, love.
I'd like one of those biscuits, please.
Right. I don't sell biscuits.
Yes, you do. There's one right there.
No, I'm sorry. I don't sell biscuits. I'm a greengrocer.
I bought one here yesterday.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I bought the biscuit. I put it in my biscuit. It was the last thing I did before I went and caught the biscuit.
I'm sorry, my darling. I have got no idea what you are talking about.
Well, that's not my biscuit, is it? I'm telling you, I want one of those biscuits. One of those. One of those.
Oh, do you mean a pineapple?
That's what I said, isn't it?
Right, okay. So I've got your biscuit. Do you want it in a biscuit?
No, I want it in a biscuit.
In a bag?
Yes, that's what I said. Put it in my biscuit.
Right, okay. So I've got your biscuit and I'm putting it in your biscuit. That'll be 150. 1.5 biscuits.
Are you completely mad?
I'm beginning to think so, yes.
Here. Honestly, some biscuits.
Do you want a biscuit with your tea, Simon?
Don't you bloody start.
It's not always the words. There are people who had a stroke and are suddenly talking in a Scottish accent or even a foreign language. Sometimes it's the way that you speak that causes the problem. Sometimes you're too loud. People think you're shouting at them. They get frightened or they get angry, so you give up trying to talk to them. And suddenly you can find yourself, even in a room full of people, you can be totally alone. You're like a ghost who just scares people away. People judge how you speak to you now.
Take a seat, Mr. Blair. Now, Mr. Blair, could you describe for us the actual nature of your disability?
I wrote it on the form.
Yes, but we'd like to hear it in your own words.
It wasn't my own words. I wrote it.
We'd like you to tell us about it now.
Well, I had a brain tumour. diagnosed 5 years ago. Had surgery to have it removed.
And was that successful?
Well, I'm still here.
No reoccurrence?
I have it checked every 2 years, and if I have a fit.
Do you have fits?
Not recently, no.
So no reoccurrence?
No. But it's still there. You never know when it might come back. If they did, get every single molecule, so to speak, just takes one bolshy one, doesn't there?
But as far as we believe, there's no reason for there to be a relapse.
Oh, check my crystal ball, shall I?
We're not trying to trick you, Mr. Blair. Now, if you could just tell us about the nature of your health now.
Well, my left side's weak. I walk in a bit of a funny way. This arm's all right, but it's got no strength. I can't grip things. Might manage. Well, you do have to, don't you?
So a weakness on your left side, but your right side?
Oh, my right side's fantastic. Although it is still attached to my left side, so, you know.
You can walk how far without discomfort?
maybe 200 metres. I can go further, but everything starts to hurt. Bound to for all that one of them zombies.
Could we see you walk now, please?
Now? Yeah, of course. Just down there and back. Okay.
Yes, thank you. And you can drive?
Yeah, I can drive, but not far. I don't do motorways or nights.
Because...
I don't know, it's the lights. It's like having daggers in my eyes. Nothing but flashing lights and noise. A bit like being one of them dodgems, wearing sunglasses.
Right, thank you. So to summarise, you can walk but not very far, you can drive but not at night, and you can grip but not very much. I see you've had some counselling.
I saw 2 army shrinks with the PTSD. One told me I should write down all the stuff I'd seen. You know, the nasty stuff. Other one just told me to try to forget it.
Not very helpful, then. Your mental health is?
No worse than the other squaddy.
Have you looked for a suitable job?
I did try. When I finished rehab.
But not since then.
No. People aren't really interested. Not really, just ticking boxes.
Ticking boxes.
Yeah, you know what it's like. Of course we're an equal opportunities employer. We've got a bloke with one leg at the Charlies, a dyslexic at the Tills. We've got enough misfits for today, thank you.
There are laws against discrimination.
If they don't want you, they don't want you. They always find a way.
But you haven't tried more recently?
No. I tried for a bit, but I gave up. Jobs are rubbish anyway.
Don't you think with the right guidance you might be able to find something suitable? You're obviously intelligent and not terribly disabled.
I don't need guidance. I'm not daft.
Perhaps you give up a little easily.
It's not just a disabled thing. Yes, I could do a full day's work. I'd happily do a full day's work. I was a mechanic in the army before this. The problem is, look, supposing you had the... Look! Supposing you had the worst day of your lives. Loads of bullshit disabled people refusing to work. A 2 hours traffic going home, the wife shouting, kids taking drugs again. And when you go to bed, you're too stressed to sleep. So all you do is lay on your back and look at the bits you missed with painting the ceiling. That's what it's like. Every day. I'd be so tired, I felt like my eyes would be pointing in 2 directions. I felt like I have a 20-stone sumo wrestler sat on my head. If I try working 40 hours a week, well, I will be half dead by Saturday.
There are part-time jobs that are not too exacting. I'm sure you could be useful there.
It's the money, isn't it? You just don't want me to have the money.
No, it isn't just that. Most people feel like they want to make a contribution. If you work, it gives you self-respect.
I've made my contribution in Belfast and Afghanistan and that bloody desert. I don't need people sat behind a desk telling me that I need to make a contribution.
We're just trying to help.
I have tried. I have really tried. I used to despise people living off benefits, living a hard day's work in their lives, getting fat and smoking and drinking.
I'm sure you're a good person.
Am I? Hard to tell these days.
Anyway, Mr. Blair, you'll receive notification within 2 weeks. Thank you for attending this interview.
I'll see myself out, shall I? Should be easy. Look at me. I'm A1 and ready for combat, sir.
You don't normally limp that much, do you?
Look, mate, we're dealing with pen pushers here. I might be disabled, but I'm not daft.
One of the problems with a head injury is that it can do all sorts of things to your personality. Some people are shy when they used to be noisy. Some people are clever when they used to be thick. Some people are pleasant when they used to be nasty. Some just lose the spark that used to be there.
Would you like to go out today?
I don't mind.
Well, would you like to go out today or not?
I don't mind, sorry.
Sam, for once, I need you to tell me, what is it that you would like to do?
Okay. I can't think of anything, really.
Fine, don't worry, I've got plenty to be getting on with anyway, so...
Is something the matter?
No. Nothing's the matter, it's just... For once, I would like you to choose what we do. It's just you drive... Forget it. Don't worry. You used to make all of the decisions.
Did I?
All of them. It was annoying, actually. Every single day, no discussion, no argument, just you stood at the front door tapping your foot going, "Come on, Jess, we haven't got all day."
Was I a bully?
Yeah. But not in a bad way. Do you remember that time in the Tesco car park where that guy swore at me so you got out and you punched him?
Punched him?
Yeah.
Did I?
He was huge and you just laid him out.
Well, you shouldn't punch people.
No, shouldn't, but he was rude and you were my knight in shining armour back then.
Wouldn't do that now.
No. You're not that person anymore.
But you said I'm a lot nicer now.
Nice, yeah. It's just... Well, nice isn't what I want, not always.
I don't understand. Isn't it better to be nice? To be a nice person?
Maybe.
We need a change. Jess. Scarborough's always nice, fresh air and all that, and you need a rest.
Yeah. Scarborough, I was meaning to talk to you about that, actually.
Oh, when do we go?
Well, I was thinking this year I might take Katie and Claire.
The Three Musketeers?
Yeah, you know, just a bit of fun, girls talk.
What about me?
Well, your carers are in 9 till 6, and you're normally in bed by 7 anyway, so you probably wouldn't even notice I'm gone.
Sorry if I'm a nuisance.
You're not a nuisance.
Sorry.
Please stop saying sorry.
I don't know what I meant to say now.
Don't say sorry.
We could go out. Yeah, let's go out, shall we? Have a walk on the front and tea and cakes? Unless you...
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go wild. Tea and cakes, tea and cream cakes.
I don't like it when you get angry.
I know. I really try not to. I really do. Go and get your coat. I just need a minute. God, I don't know how much more I can take of this. Just every day is the same, just over and over again. And I just want to scream just for once, just have an opinion about something, just get angry or shout, just stop agreeing with everything I say.
I've got my coat. I don't like it when you shout.
I know. I'm sorry. Just go and get in the car. I'll be there in a minute.
Thanks.
Can I go now?
She needs you.
I know. But being needed isn't love, is it?
The NHS! We all love it these days, don't we? It's like a great big rainbow stretching above our heads. But it can't solve everything. They're not all angels. At some point, it's going to kick you out the door and say, "This is your life. It's time for you to get out there and live it." And then it's sink or swim. Or maybe just somewhere in between.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Finch. Please take a seat. And you are?
Melissa.
And this is?
Brandon.
Good. So, what are we doing today? Right. Let's have a look, shall we? So, head injury, blah, blah, blah. Good recovery, blah, blah, blah. Loss of speech, yada, yada, yada. Depression, family breakup, trouble with the police. Nothing too serious. Yes, right, okay, that's got me all up to speed. So, what seems to be the problem with, Brendan, would you say, Melissa?
He's not getting on with his prescription.
Drugs. Drugs. I hate them. I can't think.
So, not getting on with his current prescription, is that right?
Yes.
So, what are we taking?
You? Drugs? Yes.
Sorry?
He thinks you mean that you take drugs too.
No. So, Wellbutrin, isocarbonyl oxide, phenelzines, Movado, deptyline, amitriptyline. Gosh, that is quite a cocktail, isn't it? Surprising again for the mornings. The shelves and boots must be half empty. Which one is he having a problem with?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes.
Right. Not sure we can stop all of them at once. Be a bit drastic, could cause them all sorts of problems. Are you sure he wants to do this?
Me.
I'm sorry, what is he saying?
He wants you to talk to him, not to me.
Well, yes, of course, but let's be honest, he can hardly articulate, can he? We have to be realistic about these things.
Me.
Brandon wants to stop taking the drugs because they make him feel terrible.
Awful.
But Brandon needs someone to help him do it. His mum is the only one looking after him at the moment, and she's not well. She's barely coping as it is. We need to get him onto some sort of program. There must be something.
There is a social service program for people who don't like drugs, counselling. I had a pamphlet here somewhere. It's holistic or some sort of nonsense.
Yes.
The trouble is, it's at least a 6-month waiting list. And in these days, it'll probably be cut by then.
Me.
Plus, he can be a bit of a handful, I imagine. He needs to be reasonably cooperative if he wants to get the full benefit out of these programs.
He can be a bit difficult, yes, but his whole life is difficult. When you see what he's lived through, there's terrible things in his life. Plus, the whole language thing, he can't express how he feels about things, so it's stuck going round and round and round in his head. It has been for years, it never stops.
Hard.
Look, we'll just stop a couple of them for now and see how he goes. Just need to keep a close eye on him.
Who does?
What do you mean?
Who's going to keep an eye on him?
You, I guess. His mother.
I only see him once a week. I have other clients. There isn't time.
To be perfectly honest, there's not an enormous amount we can do for him.
So, you'll see him in a couple of weeks to see how he gets on?
No, I'm afraid I won't be able to see him again.
He's waited months for this appointment.
Is there something the matter with him?
You think?
Sorry, I just have too many people to cope with at the moment. He's got a GP, hasn't he? A Dr. Wiseman.
So you'll write to him?
Me? No, I don't think that'd be necessary. Just tell him what I recommended and we'll see how he goes.
I can't take him to the doctor's. He lives 30 miles away.
His mother.
He is getting desperate, you know.
Yes, I'm sorry, but frankly, there's not much I can do about that. I just have too many patients to cope with. If the government gave a bit more money to the mental health services, then maybe.
So you'll put him on the list for community support?
No, I'm afraid you have to do it yourself, I'm afraid. That's a social work issue, not medical one. People always falling through the cracks.
Well, I thought you would be able to give him some way forward, some hope.
We all have to learn to cope with what we've got in the end, don't we?
You hear that, Brandon? You'll just have to learn how to cope.
I'm sorry, I've got another appointment.
That's it.
What can I say? You know, we're in the same boat, you and I.
Maybe. But I haven't entirely given up caring about people. Not yet. Perhaps I need to work at it.
No time to be caring about things anymore.
How did we get here? Come on. Whatever your name is.
Goodbye, Brendan.
Sometimes the personality gets turned down. Sometimes the personality gets turned up. And sometimes it gets turned up to 11. For some, the inhibitions which help the rest of us muddle through life without getting ourselves arrested can all but evaporate. And you're full on, all day, every day. Now, I love watching fireworks. But you don't want to spend your whole life watching fireworks.
Right, Josh, take a seat. Now, we were looking for options for accommodation for when you leave the hostel. Have you got any ideas?
You've got lovely tits.
I beg your pardon?
Your tits. You've got, really lovely tits.
Josh, we talked about this last time and I thought we understood each other.
I don't remember.
No, you do remember. What did we say?
I don't know. It was stuff. About saying stuff.
What we agreed was that you can't talk to people that way. It's rude and it's insulting, particularly to women.
Just being nice. It's a compliment.
No, it isn't. Your hair looks nice. You've got a lovely tan. That's a compliment. Women don't want to hear people talking about their bodies like that.
But everybody does it. Donald Trump does it.
Exactly. But most normal people don't do it, Josh. Now you have to be respectful. Women don't want to be whistled at in the street, and they certainly don't want to hear comments about their bodies. I'm doing my best to help you here, Josh, and you keep letting me down. Do you understand?
It's my head injury.
Maybe. Maybe you're using it as an excuse to be rude. You know that's not acceptable, don't you?
Suppose.
No, not suppose, you know.
Okay.
Are we clear?
Yeah.
Right. I need to go and get some stuff from the office, and I want you to sit there and think about what we just said.
Okay. Oh, nice bum, too.
Josh!
Sorry!
A knock on the head does damage things, but sometimes it can open pathways you never knew existed. Your memory can get better, and suddenly you may discover that you can do things that you couldn't do before. Take James.
Take me where?
Just tell them.
I used to live in Harlow all my life, before the brain tumour. But there was a problem. Harlow was full of people who knew me. But after the brain thing, I didn't know any of them. People were always coming up to me in the street and saying stuff. All I could do was just stare blankly back at them. I didn't know what to say. It was embarrassing. So I moved to a town where I didn't know anyone and nobody knew me. You see, the thing is, I don't really need anyone. I'm fine on my own. I go all over the place on my own. I went to Wimbledon once, wandered onto Centre Court. I didn't have a ticket, but I had a green t-shirt just like the stewards. I wandered about for a little while till somebody caught me, asked me what I was doing. I pretended I was a bit doolally. You can get into loads of places for free if you pretend you're doolally. I'm not doolally, by the way. Well, not much anyway. In fact, since my accident, I appear to have become amazingly clever. I am brilliant at quizzes. I can do all the sums on Countdown, even quicker than that Rachel Riley. I don't even have to think about it. You don't have to feel sorry for me. I'm fine on my own.
Anxiety and depression. We're always hearing them together, aren't we? They're like the Ant and Dec of mental health. Always there, but you never quite see the point of them. What people don't realise is that anxiety is actually your best friend. Without anxiety, you'd be swept out to sea in a 4-pound Argos Lilo. You take a step in the road and get knocked over by a pensioner who couldn't see above the steering wheel. You'd have an afternoon foraging in the woods and die from eating a death cap instead of a mushroom. Anxiety is your guardian angel. Except, that is, when it stops being your angel and turns into a tyrant, ruling over your life, turning every flicker of unease into a full-blown, paralysing panic attack. You used to be Mrs. Confident, coping with everything, scared of nothing. But now, suddenly you're Mrs. Jelly, the wobbly wreck.
Right, I can do this. I'm going to walk to the shops and get some milk. I just need to get my coat. Off I go.
What does she want to go to the shops for?
I just need to get some milk.
There's plenty of milk. She doesn't need any milk. Why not go tomorrow? Do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's better.
Nevertheless, that is what I am going to do right now.
She knows what's going to happen, doesn't she?
Nothing is going to happen.
It'll be a disaster. She'll have another panic attack.
I haven't had a panic attack for weeks.
That means she's due one any minute now.
It's okay. The therapist told me what I need to do.
What does he know, that therapist? Interfering, do-gooding arses. It's all well and good when she's in his office, listening to her drone on and on and on, being all sympathetic and smarmy. Oh, poor you, poor Hayes, oh dear. But when she brings him, he won't be there. She'll be rolling about on the floor. Oh, look at her. Is she on drugs? Get up, you stupid middle-class bitch. There's nothing the matter with you.
Most people are kind.
Not down that shop, they're not.
I am going to do this. I am a fully grown woman. I have a degree. I've had a very serious job and I've raised 3 children.
That was then. This is now.
I'm still the same person.
Not really. Not anymore. Not since the strike.
I am going now.
She doesn't need to go anywhere.
I can do this.
Oh, get her,
I
little Miss
can,
Braveheart.
and I will.
She should stay here. With me. In the warm. It's safe here. In fact, this is the only safe place in the whole world. No, out there! Oh, there's snakes and lizards and hornets and wasps and maggots and rapists. Oh, she wouldn't last 5 minutes.
I am going to do this.
Oh, hark at her.
Will you please get out of my head?
Why is she being so cruel to me? What did I do? I'm only trying to help. Ungrateful bitch! She should be thankful that I am looking out for her.
I'm going now.
Does she want me to come with her?
No, I want you to leave me alone.
I'll give her a minute. I'll catch her up. I'll hide behind the Cocoa Pops and then, wow, jump out when she least expects me. Just when she thinks she's safe. Surprise, surprise, go to!
Why don't you piss off? You nasty little git.
Dad, I'm just trying to help.
They say the universe started with a big bang, and nobody knows what happened before. A big bang on the head can be the same thing. Most people have no memory of it actually happening to them, and you may or may not remember your life before it happened. It's the start of, what do you call it these days? Our journey. It's tough, and it can be terrible, but you only get one life. So you have to make the best out of a bad job.
Can you please hurry up? Harry, can you turn that bloody Xbox off, please? An hour a day, we said. And you need your games kit. Come on, you're 12 years old. It's time you learn how to put stuff in a bag. It's not rocket science. And Jenna, you can't spend your entire life in the bathroom. Come on! Can you do a bit here, Rick, please?
What?
It would help if you did a bit, please.
Hurry up, kids. Your mum's waiting.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. Bloody hell. Oh my God.
What?
I just had the weirdest feeling of deja vu. You sitting there and me shouting upstairs to the kids. That's when it all started. God. How long ago was that?
How long ago was what?
When you lost your mind. You know, literally.
That's not the nicest way of putting it.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. It's just, that's when it all changed.
Yeah, I was so scared. If I'd collapsed or fainted or was in terrible pain, at least that would have made some sense. But to have your whole memory wiped out in a second, 30 years just gone. Even now, even though we know what it was, I still can't get my head around it.
3 years. That was 3 years ago. Because we had that barbecue on the Sunday, do you remember? When we sat all the grandparents round and tried to explain to them what had happened over and over and over again, and they wouldn't get it. You should have said you'd been abducted by aliens and, I don't know, had a probe stuck up your ass and your brain sucked out. Still. Even then they'd be, oh, terrible, isn't it? Lovely weather we're having.
I think I'd have preferred that too.
What?
The alien thing. Better than having your whole life evaporate on you.
You're better now, though. Better than you were.
We got through it, didn't we?
Somehow. God. You just remember how easy things used to be.
We used to sleep together.
Yeah. I know, I'm sorry.
Oh. Doesn't matter. Not sure I'm up to it much these days anyway. Not exactly Brad Pitt, am I? I do miss having someone to cuddle, though.
What are you going to do today?
The usual. Got Headway. Then maybe I'll sit in the garden if the sun's out. Got that book about street names.
Try not to die of excitement. I'll be late tonight.
Again?
We need the money, Rick. You know.
Well, I'll sort out the kids' tea. Shall I save you some?
No. I'll get something at the pub.
With Carlos.
Yeah, maybe.
See more of Carlos than you do of me.
Seems that way, doesn't it? You do know it's just work, don't you?
Yeah. Not much of a husband these days, am I?
You're still a good dad. The kids still love you.
I get lonely sometimes. In the day, I used to get stuff done.
Never used to sit down. Ate your lunch standing up.
Yeah, now I just can't seem to get started.
You know, Rick, maybe it's time for a change.
Different book, maybe.
No, I've been thinking about things. I don't think I can go on like this.
Like what?
Never mind. We'll talk about it.
When? You're never here.
We'll talk at the weekend. We just need to accept that things aren't going to be the way they were before. I have to go now. No need to wait up if you're tired. I'm leaving in 5 minutes. If you're not down here, I'm going without you, for Christ's sake!
Did you know There's a thing in your brain called the hippocampus.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Excuse me.
I said yes.
You're a nice man, aren't you?
Oh, well, I try to be.
It's nearly time for us to go home, isn't it?
In a minute. Did you know there's a thing in your brain called the hippocampus?
The hippo what?
The hippocampus. It's called the hippocampus because it's shaped like a seahorse.
Well, why isn't it called the seahorse campus then?
Because that would be stupid.
Not like hippocampus.
The hippocampus processes short-term memory and then files it away in your long-term memory, so that if it gets damaged, you can't remember what you did 5 minutes ago. You can still get dressed or ride a bike, but you can't remember what you did yesterday or how you felt about anything.
Is there time for me to go to the toilet?
Probably.
I died 3 times, you know.
I'm sorry to hear that. You seem happy though.
Oh, I am. I haven't got a care in the world except...
Except?
I don't know where the toilet is.
It's just down there, on the left.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Before we go, you should probably know that 1 person in 100 has an undetected aneurysm in their head. Which means one person watching this show is, this week's lucky winner! Who will go into the prize draw with a chance to be the 1 in 100 to suffer a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is not what you might think, a spider attacking your ass. It's a bleed on the surface of the brain, and it'll give you the worst headache of your life. But don't worry, you'll be fine. Though you will need to be on an operating table in 45 minutes or less, so otherwise, welcome to Wonderland. Oh, and the nut on the bus. Well, I think you'll find he's no madder than anyone else. And the only difference between you and him is a cracked paving slab and a broken street light. Makes you think, doesn't it?